There's a reason every software engineer is freaking out right now.
Almost everybody who sits on a stage like this would tell you it is vital that your children learn computer science. Everybody should learn how to program. And in fact, it's almost exactly the opposite.
It's been an ugly start to the year for software stocks.
Be 6 to 12 months away from when the model is doing most, maybe all of what SWEs do end to end.
What is called vibe coding now is taking over the world, because for the first time, you don't have to be a developer to create software.
Our bet is sort of that in the next year, half the development is going to be done by AI as opposed to people.
Just a few years ago, the career of a software engineer was untouchable. But now I ask, will my expertise be replaced by an agent? Am I going to lose my job? What do I do if engineering really is dying? I've worked so hard to get to where I am. Am I going to have to start over? Start a new career? You're so smart for getting into software, people would tell me. Computers aren't going anywhere. There will always be a job for you, others would say. But with the growing narrative that software engineers are going to be replaced by AI, I can't help but feel not so sure about the future of my career. The narrative has been strong, but where there is some truth, the biggest lie is that we are all going to lose our jobs. Artificial intelligence is a powerful tool, but the true power of it comes out with those who know how to use it. Our jobs will evolve with AI. In fact, we may not recognize ourselves in the next 5 to 10 years, but there will still be a need for us in the AI revolution. So let's get into it. I'd like to make the case that artificial intelligence will only be as good as the individual who is using it. Additionally, 50% of the people who use AI will actually become disconnected from their work and worse at their job rather than better and more productive. An MIT study was done where they took a total of 54 participants and split them up into 3 groups: a LLM group, a search engine group, and a brain-only group. These 3 groups were tasked with writing an essay using the tools they were given. The goal of this study was to determine the brain activity of the participant while completing their task and see if there were any differences between the groups. They found that the group who could not use an LLM or search engine had the best brain activity. Then, with each other group, brain activity scaled down with more support. Overall, the study concluded that the LLM group performed worse than their counterparts in the brain-only group at all levels. Neural linguistic scoring. Additionally, they found that the LLM's group ownership over their essay was very low. In fact, they couldn't quote their own essay just a few minutes after writing it. Now, what does this study teach us? That everyone who uses AI is dumber than those who don't? Yes. Okay, no. That is not the point. It is that those who rely too heavily on an LLM will inevitably turn their brain off and let the AI do the work. The part of this study that scares me the most for engineers is the lack of ownership. I think if people do lose their jobs to AI, it won't be because they are becoming irrelevant. It will be due to allowing oneself to become complacent that AI will do all the work for you. Since the LLM generated this code or wrote this email, it must be right. So let's ship it. Wrong. Those who use agents as assistants rather than a personal butler will excel, choosing to take ownership rather than offloading work. I could go off on the correct ways to use AI, but maybe we'll save that for another video. Let's move on to a more interesting topic, the narrative. The most twisted lie we are being told right now is that current layoffs are due to the impact of AI. This leaves a resonating feeling that AI is already smart enough to do the work for us. But when you look under the surface, AI is being used as a scapegoat for some other ulterior motive. For example, the big companies like Meta with 8,000 layoffs, Amazon with 30,000 layoffs, and Microsoft with 9,000 layoffs, all being blamed due to AI. While technically they are not lying, what they are saying is not what most people think. These large companies want to be the ones to create the greatest AI for people to use, because whoever has the best AI brings the most money. So they are willing to invest a lot of money into research and experimentation, knowing if they make it, their investment will be well paid off in the long run. Well, we aren't there yet. It is still an arms race, and these companies need more money to invest into these projects. How do they do that? By laying off their employees to free up extra cash. So again, when these large companies say the layoffs are due to AI, it is true, but not how most people think. Now, it's not just the large companies doing this. Many others are doing it as well, but they give the best example. Now, there's another side to this. Other companies will lay people off and say it is because AI is making them more productive. So slashing headcount makes the most sense. Take Jack Dorsey's company Block. He laid off more than 40% of the company since AI fundamentally changes what it means to build and run a company, which involves smaller and flatter teams. In other words, we don't need as many people to do the same amount of work because of AI. But what is the reality? Well, each company has its own real reason. For Block, it's that they overhired. 10,000 employees was way more than they needed. The problem is, laying people off does not look good, especially for investors. It screams that the company is not doing well. So in order to keep sentiment high, they pulled the AI card. I mean, think about it. If you were invested in a company and they told you, hey, we have this cool new tool that will allow us to cut employee costs, but we will still be able to produce the same output. If I'm an investor, I'm thinking, okay, how do I invest more? Surely this company is worth more than my original investment. Lower overhead costs means higher profit margins, which means more money the company can put to work in other endeavors. This story is being played out over and over again. Yet no company is actually slashing jobs because human employees in any capacity are becoming irrelevant. Okay, we have mostly talked about our present AI problems. Well, what about the future? AI will surely become better, smarter, quicker. What then? Well, here's where I think we need to have a real talk. Our jobs, not just software engineers, will evolve. If you believe that in 10 years your job will be no different than it is today, you will be left behind. That may sound scary, but that has been the reality for humans for our entire history. We have this tendency to invent things, causing disruptions in the current norms. Take all previous revolutions. The Neolithic Revolution moved us away from hunting and gathering to agricultural farming. The Scientific Technical Revolution brought the printing press and the ability to spread knowledge to the general population. No longer did you have to rely on handwritten text or an individual. You could buy books and learn for yourself. The Industrial Revolution brought railways, steam power, allowing for steam ships. The demand for stagecoach drivers went way down. Handcrafted products were replaced by factory machines. The Digital Revolution brought on computers, adding new exciting jobs that we have today, but also removed the need for video stores, film developers, and human computers. The AI revolution will be no different. Old jobs will be replaced by new needs, but what jobs? Well, that's unknown at the moment. Speculators will convince you that just about every job will be replaced, especially software jobs. What makes the AI revolution so scary is the pace at which it is moving. In past revolutions, there has been plenty of time for people to evolve and find their place in the new era. So will some jobs be replaced? Yes. I would go as far as to say no job will be the same, but I am mostly here to talk about engineers. What will a software engineer look like post-AI revolution? Well, no one really knows. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you and probably has ulterior motives. This is what I believe to be the most likely scenario. Writing code line by line will not be as common, but the need for problem solvers won't go away. AI will be able to write code, but we'll still need someone to architect how a system should be built out. Less time will be spent staring at a computer screen, and more time will be spent with other engineers, collaborating on the best way to design a new system or how to integrate a new feature into a massive, already existing code base. This is good and bad for us. Good because we are not going anywhere. Bad because for a lot of us, the reason we got into coding is going away. That feeling of creating something yourself will go away. No more will we be heads down for hours at a time grinding out a bunch of code, which can be a lot of fun. Instead, we will hand off tasks to AI agents that handle the grunt work for us. Is this really a bad thing though? I don't think so. In fact, I think letting go of writing most of the code will be very tough, which, side note, I'm not saying stop writing code right now. AI is not nearly as good as all the influencers are saying. We in fact still need to write code right now. But what I am saying is, eventually AI will get good enough to write most of the code, leaving us with the decisions on how to build out a system. Then the AI will just do it. When we get to that point, it will be difficult to let go, but once we do, I think we will find much more joy in our work than we ever have. Our projects will be much larger and more complex than they are today. The things we will be able to build with teams of AI agents will be truly spectacular. Imagine this: a group of engineers together, tasked with adding a new feature. The engineers discuss and debate the technical complexities about this new feature. A team of AI assistants is at the ready to answer technical questions in parallel about the existing codebase and what the pros and cons are of the technical decisions discussed in the room. After much deliberation, the engineers feel good about the direction of the discussion and are ready to build out and ship this feature. The team of AI assistants are then tasked with executing the technical plan. When they are done, the code is shipped and goes through constant observation by other agents. Feedback is submitted by users and some improvements could be made. The team of engineers are presented with the feedback and discuss what to do, forever evolving iteratively, just as we do now. I honestly cannot wait. My hope is that this video helps alleviate some fears. The current vibe of the industry makes me sad that truly talented people will become discouraged because of the hype being fed to us all. The reason the narrative has taken hold so well is because of how well it plays on our emotions and fears. Don't let the uncertainty of the future paralyze you. Stay relevant. Learn the new tools and use cases. Own your work. Your skills are needed, and you continue to be needed. Your skills may find new uses in the years to come, but they will not become irrelevant. I made this YouTube channel off the vibe I get from the industry. People often ask me if I'm worried I'm going to lose my job, worried of becoming irrelevant. So I made this YouTube channel to share my thoughts. I'd like to know your thoughts as well. Leave a comment down below, whether you agree or disagree. I'd love to hear it. Also, I currently have 0 subscribers. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, click the subscribe button and like the video. You could be one of the first. Either way, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.